Okay, let me clear this off. The piece I want to cut is off course on the bottom. Don't need this just yet, but I will very soon. So that can go there. That can go down here until I pick it up. I have one sheet in my way. Two sheets in my way. Oh, we'll just move these. Make a mess. All right, B side, A side, always work from the B side, but pay attention to that. Remember, you're cutting from the back, and so if I flip this over and look at it, and I look at this and I go, oh, well, I got it wet there, dirty, but I look at this piece of wood, I'm looking for defects, things I don't like, things I don't want to maybe want to see. I got a really clean sheet. I don't think I have to worry too much about that, but occasionally on the A side you'll see little stuff and you wouldn't want to see it if you're going to leave the wood natural. If you're going to paint it, you don't care. I just hate to paint this. I like natural wood, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I actually may just end up putting a veneer on this even and covering this up, because I have a piece that's really cool and I'd like to use that as well. And so I probably went overboard buying a nice piece, but it just makes my life a little easier. It's worth the extra 10 bucks to buy a nice sheet of plywood. So there's nothing here I have to worry about. So this is my right side. If I make that my left side, then I want to, let's start over there, because I want this factory edge to be exposed. And this side, I said, was 76 inches, right? I'm going to go right out here, right on the money, 76 inches. Now I know I'm over 47 inches. That's mostly the whole sheet, right? And this side is going up against the other sheet of plywood. This is the right side, and this was 76 and a quarter. This is where I have to really pay attention. I'm reading the tape measure upside down. 6s look like 9s when they're upside down, and I mess up all the time. And I didn't really get a good mark on that one. There we go. Much more accurate. Double check. Double check. Now I'm actually fairly skilled with a skill saw, believe it or not. I'm pretty comfortable. I've been using them for a long time. But this little tool, I have to confess, has been a time saver. I get a more accurate cut for sure. I get a nice straight cut with it. It's pretty simple. It's called AccuCut from Craig. I bought it when I was buying another Craig tool. Now what's nice about this is I don't need to scribe a line. Comes with a nice little plate that mounts onto your skill saw. Sits in this track. I gotta tell you, this was a little uneasy using this the first time. I wasn't sure. And one of the things it does is you actually, as you run your saw through, you're cutting the track itself as well. There's a blue edge here, right? You can see this side. It's actually cutting that off so that it is very tight tolerance to your blade. I have noticed that occasionally I still nick a little bit here and there of it, but I've checked it. It's still very straight. I love how this works. Now, it's pretty easy. Let's just cut it. Just barely going through. I should have adjusted. This is where I'm too short to reach. And I'm trying to hold up this piece of plywood at the same time, this cutoff piece. And that, Dusty, is the benefit of using the jig, the AccuCut, is I didn't have to worry about it. Now this time I have to cut in 2 parts anyways. And I said 47 inches. Is that still right? Did I remember that correctly? Look at that. Right on the money there. Set the saw down. Pull the trigger. Take your time. Take your time. Obviously not long enough to go a full 8-foot sheet, so it's not a big deal though. Just reverse it. What I like is it grips the plywood really nice. I'm going to double check this measurement. Ta-da! Wonder what I could use that for. Let's take this out of the way. I have to think about layout. Factory edge, cut edge. So what's that mean? Top, cut edge. This is the right side. Don't forget that. Ta-da! So, my shelves. Man, I need some warm to work here. This piece of strapping, represents the top of my face frame. Making a mess here. Glad I'm working on the back side, I don't care. So here's what I picked up. Check this out. Shelves, right? They're kind of cool, and if I could just get them to work here, because I don't have them screwed down, they will just slide out, and they're full extension. So I can get to everything in them, I can see what's in them. Crazy stuff happens to me. My neighbor had these. He salvaged them from something, project somewhere. They're not perfect, they need a little cleanup. They're chrome. I'm doing a lot of stainless steel, so shiny, a little cleaning, no big deal. And I think these work awesome. The downside, right, I'm just figuring out now is, and when they lock in as well, by the way. So they're only 15 inches wide. So now I'm toying with the idea of shifting everything, just making this side that much bigger. I don't know, I got 6 of these. I don't know how I'm going to use them all. I may put them in a cupboard. So the cupboard will open up and the shelves will be in there instead, because that would allow me to still get in there and work, because I can make these so that I can easily pull them out. A couple of screws if I need to get in there and work. I won't have a face frame in my way. So I think I'm going to slide these over. That's going to widen this side out really big. Oh. If I move these over, here I need 3 inches. And I'm just eyeing this right now. I gotta really double check all this. I just want to get a feel for the layout at this point. And maybe I'm a little bit more anal than I should be on this, but That's 3 inches. I'm actually pretty good with this eyeball stuff. I don't know why. I can spot something out of level from a mile away, I swear to God. It can be off by a 16th and I know it. Drives me nuts. Yeah, I'm one of those guys that straightens out pictures in somebody else's home. Okay. I know that about myself. I'm okay with it. That's a pretty good spacing. It lets me really plenty of clearance. It depends on what I put in there. I was expecting clothes, so my clothes wouldn't fill up very much of that, so I could shrink that down and put 4. Maybe I'll put the other ones on this side, because now let's see, what does that basically give me, right? If I come out here, that's 29.5 inches minus my 2 inches in, minus a 2-inch reveal. If I just shift that over, that gives me a pretty good sized cabinet over here now, doesn't it? Very interesting. All right, my phone's ringing. Take a break. All right, sorry about that interruption with the phone. Real estate calls. You answer. Had a couple this morning. All right, so this is the correct side. I have more of those. I can put them down through here. I can get 6 or 7 right here. These would be behind a cupboard. These would be with drawer fronts. I think that layout looks great. And here's what it did. When I come 2 inches off of that to create, again, a vertical fascia board there, then I end up over here 26 inches wide, just a quarter inch under, I guess, somehow. No, 26 inches. And guess how that worked out for me? I did go in and I looked up everything that I was going to put in this cubby, like a 2-burner cooktop induction. They're just under 24 inches wide. Gives me 2-inch clearance. Psyched. Perfect. Everything else was slightly smaller than that, 22 inches down to 15 inches, anything that I might put in here on a shelf to use, toaster oven, things like that. So I love it. There's a very big possibility that, again, drawers underneath, drawers that pull out, this one again have a cupboard, and this will just be an open area with shelves in there, because the things that go in here will be stored in here. And they probably will have pull-out drawers that I'll custom make little boxes for, and then put them on sliders. And I'll have 2 of these down here, one down low, one high, so that, you know, depending on what I buy for clearance, what I need to pull things out, so that it's tucked away when I don't need it, when for traveling and whatnot. When I need it, I reach down, pull it up, put it in here, use it, put it away. This cubby area stays nice and open and easy for me to clean. More than enough depth for everything, more than enough width. It's perfect. I'm loving that. I'm going to start drawing this all out now and probably cutting it. This would be tricky. I got to get good, straight, clean cuts. And it's going to be critical to get this right. Can't screw it up. So I don't think you want to see me sketch it all out. Let me do that and come back to you. So this worked out pretty lucky. I don't know how much of that you can actually see, but I got 6 drawers up the side. These are actually going to be behind cabinets. I think this one here, and then 2 cabinet doors here, splitting it. Big open cavity there, and 2 doors up there. And that one may even get a single door on it. But that's the rough opening. Like I said, I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. I think with 1 door opens that up and I get 3 drawers. But I laid it all out. It is just funny how it worked out perfect. And those being narrower than I thought they were actually helped me widen this out, which I ended up needing, didn't realize it. Coincidence? I don't know. Kind of cool. I'm scared to cut it. What if I have it wrong? So I'm going to double check it. That is just the facts. I check everything now. I've learned my lesson. I've made a few mistakes. So I'm going to go back to checking it and making sure I got my layout the way I want. I don't know if you can see me. It's really dark in here. I got a crazy idea. Let's see if I can get some light on me. But looking at this, thinking about how I'm going to do my frame, like I like the idea of my face frame being one sheet of plywood, kind of cool. And then I got to thinking, if I mount doors on top of this, what a waste of all that great wood in the middle. I can't reuse it because I would need pieces for every one of these cutouts half a size inch bigger, so I have at least a 1/4 inch, and you'll get a nice flush seal. It's very common cabinetry. It look really nice. Makes putting my veneer on a little harder. So I got to thinking, why not a smooth face? Why not reuse all these pieces I'm going to cut out as my doors? Yeah, so I did a check with a friend who knows more than me about this stuff, and said they absolutely make a hinge for doing this, for 3/4 inch face, flush mount. Some of it's going to be drawers, like I said, that push out. And here's the problem. I was worried about making this cut to begin with, and now I've just multiplied that by 10 times. Because now, in order to cut this, I have to cut it perfectly. I almost wish I had a CNC machine. That would be perfect. But I also need a really thin cut, because I don't want to see a lot of gap, framing out that door. Where my material that I'm putting on is going to be darker in color, it would be okay. It'll kind of disappear a little bit. But the thinner that gap is, the better. So that adds to my problem. What do I cut it with? Skill saw would be convenient, quick. And I can get a really straight cut with a skill saw pretty easily because I'm skilled with a skill saw. But the blade's too thick. They're all too thick. I want thinner. So here's what I come up with. I'll cut it with a jigsaw. Pretty thin blade. Take my time. I have to use a straight edge. There goes my phone again. Sorry. My next problem is, typically to start a jigsaw cut in this, you would drill a hole. I can't have a hole. So how do I get it started? Well, I think I can do that with my new oscillating tool. Also a thin blade. They're both very close. In fact, I think the oscillating tool is thinner. So I'm going to test it. Want to see? I'm going to set you up on my trusty tripod, and we'll see how this goes. So my first test is, if I line up on that straight edge, can I nice and easily, slow speed, take my time. Now my next thing is, I've got to be able to take this, run it through there. Of course, it helps if your blade's in correctly as well. Get your blade nice and straight. Now that sort of doesn't fit. Right? It's a little smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip this blade. I got to start it and lean into it. Look at that. Now if I clamp my edge back down up against this, can I get a good straight cut? And just for extra precaution, I'll do this. See, I just moved it. So I'm going to do this side as well. Now this is where the fun comes in. Let's see how this goes. It's not bad. What I've noticed is that my plunge cut has a curve to it, but that is because it's a thinner blade. I think if I go back, want to see? I think that got a pretty straight cut. So now I'm going to test it on 3/4 inch. And then you'll get to watch me do the whole thing if I decide to keep going forward. Let's see how it goes. So I'm going to start with this corner right here and get my first plunge cut in that. And see how it goes. Now what I've learned is start off slow with oscillating. If you go faster, I get a good push through cut. But it's 3/4 inch, it takes a little while. So, and I also don't want to ruin my blue cutting edge, so I'm laying the tool down on the wood first so that I don't accidentally cut into that. And I like it. I got a little gap, you probably can't see it, but I got a 1/16 of an inch or less gap between my line. So I'm just about where I want to be, and we're going to give it a try. Boy, that seems like it's awfully fast. Seems like it's awfully. Now I'm off the corner. I'm not right on the corner either. I'd rather cut back to that corner. I'm just near the corner. That's very loud. I think I'm going to wear hearing protection for the next one. All right. I like it. That worked. I'll have to do this line as well. Now I'm going to pull this off and make my first cut. I'll need that back. Now what I do know is my saw, jigsaw, needs 1.5 inches. Right? See, this is where I've got to take my time, people. I screw up if I don't take my time. And I'm not going to rush. What do I say? Check it. Check it. That's pretty good. I think I got this so you can see me doing this. This is really the fun part. Don't put it down on the material and pull your trigger. Bounces right off right away, because if you watch, that's a really fairly long stroke on this tool. So you can kind of see it. I don't know what part you saw of that or what you didn't see. Because when I just checked the camera, the battery had already died, which I guess I didn't charge that last night. So I got it through. It kicked out on me once already. This is why I started at the bottom. This is the bottom of the cabinet. I'm less likely to see this even though I'm short. It kicked out a little bit. This is, if I flip this door around, this is the side that gets a laminate, so any damage there will be hidden by the laminate when I trim it out. But I'm through. This side came out okay, you know, but not great. So this is a tricky method. I'm hoping, I wish there was another one, somebody could tell me another solution, but I don't have one right now. So I'm going to turn my back to you as I cut this, I think. Well, maybe I can do it this way. I want to be able to see how this goes. All right, I persevered. I paused you guys and focused on finishing the line. I might put some tape down, but then I got to redo everything. But I don't know if I really care that that's splitting out. Again, this is the back side. nobody will ever see it. And then this will be flipped around and be the front of the door that gets the laminate over it, so you shouldn't see that edge either. Now if I really want to go crazy, I can band these doors as well so you don't see the end grain when you're opening it. But the whole idea of this face frame was maybe I didn't need to do that, because when it's closed I don't see it, when I open it I don't care.